Hello everyone, Luke Smith here. Time for today's double feature. First one is from March 19th, the 14th, 2024. Caroline Hutt. Name Caroline Hutt, even though we got it up there. Affiliations West Midlands, Hunt Sabs. Location Southam, Wiltshire. Warwickshire. Warwickshire, there we go. Caroline Hutt is a Sabs supporter, sympathiser and apologist willing to stick her neck out for criminal Sabs in the West Midlands, including the likes of Kathy Scott, David Graham and Richard Williams. Why has he got two first names for names? It makes no sense. She recently gained notoriety after appearing as a talking head on the Channel 4's recent one-sided report on how the Warwickshire Hunt had made a secret deal to remove a community protection notice. However, Channel 4 would be advised to do a background checks on their interviewees and sources before taking their word as gospel and presenting such a one-sided case. It seems their fount of anti-hunting rhetoric, Caroline Hutt, as some pretty racially charged and Islamic views, among other things. So she's racist and Islamophobic. It's good to know. Sab synthesize. I can't pronounce that word. Hutt was interviewed in the March 2024's Channel 4 documentary about the Warwickshire Hunt. Her village, Avon Does It, also featured in the documentary. Hunt Sab sympathisers are clear enough in her comments on the West Midlands Hunt Sab's Facebook page. Beyond this, she has a tendency to aggressively criticise hunting on various social media platforms, attacking hunts across Warwickshire. Extremist and offensive views. Aside from her warped obsession with Sabs, Hutt uses her Twitter account, now X, to deluge in social media with extreme and often offensive views. Her Twitter feed continuously rolls out on a staunch defence of Israel and the IDF daily. However, she also holds a Palestinian civilians accountable for multiple elements of Israel/Hamas conflict. So she's into the political bullshit as well, it looks. Interestingly, by the way, yes, as always, links will be in the description. Interestingly, Alex Thompson, who interviewed Hutt for the Channel 4 documentary, produced another short documentary 2 weeks earlier titled "The Gaza: No Water, Electricity or Food in Severely Damaged NASA Hospital." I wonder what she'd make of Hutt's online presence, or he'd make of Hutt's online presence in retrospect. Even more concerning of Mrs. Hutt's use of the word Pallywood on Twitter/X, a derogatory term employed to describe the alleged staging of an injured or dead Palestinian civilians for the benefit of arresting reporters. The idea has been criticised by media experts as a conspiracy theory, and humanitarian groups accuse its proponents of downplaying the brutal toll on the conflict. Based on her social media rants, Hutt places the blame for the conflict squarely with the Palestinian people, often equating them with the terrorist group Hamas. But just when we thought matters couldn't get any worse for the Sab apologist, Hutt veers into outright Islamophobia, taken to Twitter/X once again. Hutt has denied the existence of Islamophobia and criticised various British Muslim politicians, including Zaha Sultana, is that it? Sadiq Khan, which everyone fucking despises, and Hazmi Yusuf. I can't pronounce fucking Muslim names for the life of me, by the way. Meanwhile, she has also demonstrated racist beliefs against Iraqis, calling them vile people. often saying that she was so happy when her son's marriage to a Iraqi broke down. Fucking hell. Even your son hates you, it sounds. It is not only Iraq, Palestinians and Islam generally that Hutt detests. She also hates South Africa, calling the country a tin pot shithole that rightly belongs to the white farmers who settled there. Jesus Christ. Shit, this one's a fucking right one. On top of all this, Hutt often abuses individuals online, calling someone an unhinged twat and others scum the earth for simply disagreeing with her. It's typical behaviour of her kind. But this is just a sort of extremism which the Hutt saboteur frequently attracts, and it has become a breeding ground for. It is an embarrassment for Channel 4, a publicly owned broadcasting network, to have seriously interviewed a bigot like Hutt, not to mention Alex Thompson's credibility as a journalist. Meanwhile, the even deeper irony is that Sabs love to accuse Hutt supporters of racism and bigotry, even though one of their own is racist. However, when one looks closely and explores the saboteur community, the boot is firmly on the other foot. Sab groups are a hotbed of extremist views, which often lead to criminal action. We need only look as far as Mel Barrington and Paul Ullman to notice a trend. They're the worst criminals of the lot, by the way. One's a bomber and the other one tried to kill someone. I can't remember what the other one did. Time and time again, the moral righteousness has been shown to be nothing more than a facade for Hutt Sabs. Hutt is yet another example. Fundraising career. When she's not offending others on the internet or spreading lies about trail hunting, Hutt is the managing director of Hutt & Co., a bespoke fundraising consultancy based in Leamington Spa. Hutt set up Hutt & Co. after an international career in fundraising consultancy, which took her to South Africa, no less, a place she now describes as a tin pot shithole. At Behind the Mask, we wonder what the lovely people of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, where Hutt lived, would make of her comments. Hutt is also a member of the Certified Funding Executive Committee on Directorship and is a former chair of the Association of Fundraising Consultants, now being a board member. She was formerly the school's director at Compton Fundraising. In May 2023, power-hungry Hutt ran for election in the Avon Dasset Parish Council. Fortunately, her bigoted views were kept out of local politics when she lost with only 34 votes. I bet you she's Labour. I bet you she's part of the Labour lot. Like, yeah. This is the kind of person that we have to live with, unfortunately. Anyway, let's go back up the top. Let's do the next one. From March the 12th of last year, Doug Moore, updated on May 15th of last year. Affiliations: West Sussex Hutt Sabs. Location: Bognor Regis, formerly Keswick. Trespass and harassment: Doug Moore, a veteran Hutt Sab and former slaughterhouse worker, has apparently relished in being the centre of attention in ongoing legal drama. Over the past few years, Moore has allegedly broken into several private estates in Sussex and stolen and or destroyed humane cable restraints, often while harassing trail hunts on the same land. These restraints were used to control the population of predators like foxes and stoats, and thus preserve the rare bird and mammal species. So in other words, he hates birds, he hates wildlife. Sussex police launched an investigation into Moore's behaviour in July of 2023, saying that they were looking into reports of criminal damage and theft to the tune of £12,000. Moore, who posted numerous videos of himself trespassing, why would you film your own crimes, you fucking idiot, and interfering with private property, which was subsequently arrested and charged with 6 counts of criminal damage and 3 counts of theft. And there is no video here. Despite these videos, Moore denied the charges on the ground that they were based on other clips, which has been posted on social media, where in some he claims that he was clearly not in the videos, even though he was. However, Moore is known to have trespassed on private property, as his careless social media accounts frequently attest. Despite legal troubles, one recent video on Moore's Facebook shows him trespassing, harassing ground staff, and refusing to leave private property upon polite request. Meanwhile, on a video he posted on Twitter, Moore abuses Hutt supporters, calling them flotilla of scum. Prosecution in the Sussex case decided not to proceed, so the judge at Lowes Crown Court was left with no choice but to find Moore not guilty. However, he still faces the possibility of a non-conviction restraining order. Moore may have gotten lucky this time, but the vegan activist or not, no one is above the law. However, Mr. Moore clearly believes he is above all. Hysterically promoting on social media tag by the name of I can't pronounce that, something vegan, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. Someone who considers himself a vegan angel, like all of them vegan trats do, would be best off seeking professional help, not running around stealing and committing criminal damage. But for all his alleged criminal activity, Moore still received the blessing of a vegan activist god, that twat again, Chris Packham, who posted his support for the saboteur on Twitter. He's a twat. I'd love to fucking nobble him, like knock him on his ass. When the police arrested Moore, they found him on mobile phone. They found on him mobile phones, a laptop, a Garmin smartwatch. Didn't know Garmin did smartwatches. Didn't know Garmin still exists. It leads to a power bank, and most controversially, as according to Protect the Wild, a bank card belonging to a former girlfriend. So he's doing like extortion, in other words. No explanation has been offered as to why Moore had this on his possession for the person. Moore has since made outrageous claims against Sussex police, blogging updates all over his Twitter that the police were refusing to return his belongings because they're stolen or fraudulently used them. Well, that's because they're doing an investigation. You'll get them back once it's all clear, but mostly none. These baseless accusations against public servants are further evidence of Moore's condivision and animalistic world views. Putting out the Biggin Bowl. Following his totally unevidenced accusations against Sussex police, Moore has set up a GoFundMe page because he doesn't work, he's a dull scum, where he claims, "Please seize several thousands of pounds worth of my belongings and put me through a year of this investigation." He further accuses the police of being disproportionate of their actions and obstructive. Moore intends to use this money from the GoFundMe to sue Essex Police for compensation. I'm pretty sure you can't sue the police. I'm almost certain of that. Not only he is wasting taxpayers' money and valuable police time, he is also duping charitable members of the public into funding his misguided crusade against the boys in blue. His appeal ends, "If you are able to help, please contribute to aid my search for justice." At this time of writing, he has reached only 360 of his £2,000 budget. However, this is not the first time Moore has profited off public goodwill. The Morrison's debacle. Always keen for attention, Moore previously tried to capture the limelight while working as a cashier at the Bognor Regis branch at Morrison's. Why are you working for a company that you hate, you absolute moron? He was fired. Oh, yes, this is probably why. He was fired in November 2021 for a campaign against. Oh, he's campaigning before. That's why he got sacked, idiot. For campaigning against the supermarket that allegedly they were taking part in chicken abuse. According to Yorkshire Live, Moore first took part in the campaign by signing a petition and sharing a link in Morrison's internal Facebook group. What a moron. What an absolute idiot. No wonder you got sacked. Moore subsequently formed Morrison's first vegan union, apparently consisting of 3 members. Yeah, that's a hell of a union. And led a dozen protests against his employer. I'm pretty sure a multi-billionaire, well, it'd be a multi-millionaire, wouldn't it? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't lose much money out of this. Like, 3 fucking people right there. And there's people, like, walking in. It's like, it's people ignoring them. That's funny as fuck. The disgruntled Moore then was fired on the following grounds. His speaking with the press broke the confidentiality with Morrison's, as he did not obtain written permission from the company to do this. The protest he organised was intentionally harmful to the interests of his company and misrepresented the Morrison's brand. He breached the respect in the workplace policy and social media policy at Morrison's. Sounds fair. Despite the Humane League's warped and laboured rant about the unfairness of the situation, in the real world, people do get fired if they constantly don't turn up to work and instead publicly slag off their employer in front of their shop. But it turned out that unemployment was a blessing for Moore, as it allowed him to focus on his true passion, collecting other people's money. In other words, begging online. A Linktree's page, positioned permanently on Moore's social accounts, provides easy routes to Moore's YouTube page, a non-existent business, and a shameless Patreon account under the name of Veganagel, whatever that fucking says, which allows followers to support Moore's vegan and animal rights activism content. Donations range from $5 to £100 a month and give supporters exclusive updates on Moore's life and escapades as he continues to avoid gainful employment. So you're basically paying like a £5, like fucking hell, tier 4, 50 quid a month, tier 5, £75, tier 6, 100. You basically don't get anything. Let's see, updates on what I'm doing, live Q&As, and one-to-one communication and input, Patreon only posts and messages, exclusive content. You do not get anything physical for your money, it sounds like. Normally you get like, free shit. You get like artwork from an artist, that sort of thing. With him you get fuck all. Like, you do not get anything worth anything. In the YouTube video advertising himself on Patreon, Moore explains that being an activist across the South Coast and a former butcher has a unique insight into non-traditional demographics. We at Behind the Mask aren't quite sure how unique this perspective is. Kevin might be from South Wales and supports Tottenham, but sadly that is not the reason for Sky Sports to hire him as a football pundit. More money, more problems. It's perhaps ironic that Moore dedicates so much of his time to collecting other people's hard-earned cash when he first rose to fame for criticising the Bank of England's new fivers. So does he hate money now? In 2016, the bank revealed a new £5 note made with the hard-wearing polymers that to reduce the frequency with which the notes need to be replaced and compared to the old fibres, reducing waste and emissions in the process. Outraged at this eminently sensible decision, more states started a petition against the use of animal fats in the production of the new readies. That's the thing, is like, there was a whole new thing. Right, I remember it when the first plastic notes come out, or polymer notes, whatever they call it. People was like complaining, it's like, oh, they're made out of animal fat and all this bullshit. I'm like, well, you don't eat them, you use them. It doesn't fucking matter. It's all right now. It's like, there's no one complaining now. Maybe the odd one or two, but that was like a big thing when the first polymer notes came out. Everyone was fucking bitching because like animal products are used in it. Guess what? Don't use them if you don't like them. Use like bank cards and shit. Moore, who was then working in a hotel, said that he was disgusted by the new notes and observed how that there has to be other ways of making money. Indeed, like collecting donations on the internet. Moore said that he would refuse to use the new notes, which nowadays includes 10 and 20 bills as well. I think 50s at the minute as well, but I can't remember, and tried unsuccessfully to get Parliament to debate the issue. Given his moral objections, we urge members of the public to not give Moore any money, lest you morally offend him. That is funny. So that was it. 2 other long ones. Jesus Christ, 21 minutes. Yeah, I knew it was going to be a long one. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Tomorrow I'll have a lolcal video, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys next time.